If you're one of those people who enjoys going out and you can afford to, and you want to go to some of the best restaurants anywhere, well, you don't have to go very far. Montreal now picking up 2 more stars in Michelin's new Quebec guide on top of the ones we already had. Plus, this has been a big week too because Canada's 100 best new restaurants, that list has been also released actually a day before the Michelin guide. Want to find out more? And so we're going to talk to Lesley Chesterman. You know her, Lesley Chesterman, of course, writer, restaurant critic, cookbook author, and formerly, of course, with the Montreal Gazette. So, Lesley, thank you. I appreciate the time today.
Hi, Aaron.
Yeah, nice to
Hi.
have you. Let me begin by asking you, did anything surprise? I mean, so first of all, let's mention the 2 stars, or the 2 restaurants getting a star. One is Hogan and Beaufort. The other is Sushi Nishinokaze.
Yep.
You know them both.
Yep. I've been a fan of the chef of Hogan and Beaufort, whose name is Marc-André Jeté, for a long time. For, Montreal restaurant growers, you might remember him from some of his former places. One of them that he worked at was the 400 Coups with a chef called Patrice Demaris and Marie-Josée Baudouin, who also have a restaurant called Sabayon that got a Michelin star last year. So they used to work together. Now they don't. But, Marc-André is not only has a great restaurant, he has a great wine bar, he has a great catering company. This guy is on the ball. I was surprised that he got a Michelin star, not because he doesn't have the talent, but, I was just looking at the Canada's 100 Best list. He's not on that list. They just recently renovated, and he's a little bit outside. He's near the Angus Yards. He's a little bit outside of the downtown or the Plateau or Old Montreal. And but he's very, very good, so I'm not surprised. And Sushi Nishinokaze, I ate there about 6 months ago. I did not pay. I did not. It's very expensive.
Wait a sec. They knew who you were when you walked in?
Yes, but I wasn't reviewing it.
Okay.
I was invited by a deep-pocketed friend, shall we say. Thank you very much to the deep-pocketed friend. And, it's about $400 plus per person, but it really is really high-end sushi. And there's no such thing as excellent, cheap sushi. And I know people will say this is super elitist and everything, but there are only 8 seats, and it really is craft, beautiful work, beautiful. All the ceramics on the table are ancient Chinese ceramics. Japanese. Oh my God, Japanese, and it's impeccable and incredible. I don't know if everybody wants lobster lungs with their sushi, but it's an experience.
By the way, as you say that, I think back, and we both know Antonio Park, who has a wonderful restaurant, right? A sushi restaurant called Park.
Yep.
It's not cheap, but you just said this place is $400 for one person?
Yes. Oh, yes. But that's to begin with. I mean, and I believe you have to pay before you go.
What?
And and it's very elite, and just like the sushi people are a whole other world. That is a whole other world. Okay. The sushi people they'll sell their firstborn for Toro and good sushi. Let's put it that way.
That's crazy. All right. Yeah. So for those of you who have won the lottery or have a deep-pocketed friend like Lesley, you might want to consider going there if you like sushi, rather. Otherwise, I'm curious. So you've obviously been to Hogan and Beaufort. Is that expensive? Very expensive as well, or moderate?
Well, that's an interesting question because I would say it's moderate high, but it's not as high as the highest.
Okay.
And yet now that they've gotten a Michelin star, it opens the door for them to increase their prices.
All right. I love the picture.
There's no doubt about that.
I love the picture of Soraya Martinez-Ferret, our mayor, showing up with flowers at Hogan and Beaufort, saying that, before they got a star, you could make a reservation, or at least she could, on the same day and go for dinner. That's not happening anymore, right? Because this will change everything.
I don't think so. It really is a great restaurant with a lot of these places also have great wine service. And in fact, their sommelier was named by Michelin as Hugo Duchesne Sommelier of the Year. These people are real pros. They know what they're doing. They've been around a long time. And, they nailed it. That's all you can say about the people who get the Michelin stars. They played the game and they won.
All right. By the way, you should mention the chef, the one from, of course, Hogan and Beaufort. I read that he has studied in France. So for him, winning a Michelin star is like winning the World Series, right?
Well, they understand the way it works, and he probably worked in a Michelin star restaurant. And once you've worked in a Michelin star restaurant, you understand what the standard is. So it's easier to go towards that goal. But not everybody has that goal. There are a lot of great restaurants in Montreal that didn't get a Michelin star, that didn't even get recommended. So if you have a favorite restaurant that's not on that list, it doesn't mean that you like a sucky restaurant. It just means that it just didn't please the one person or two people.
Well, let's be honest. I mean, so I've brought this up in the past. So Milos, which would be considered one of Montreal's best restaurants, right? They've never had a Michelin star and don't really care one way or the other.
Yeah, and not only is Milos is arguably the most successful, Kostas Spiliadis is arguably the world's most successful restaurateur who has not only opened up Milos, the first one in Montreal, but, he's also in Vegas.
Yeah,
he's everywhere. So, I mean, I think he would deserve a Michelin star, but this man is a pioneer, and he's on the ball no matter what. Does he need it? No. Would he like it? Probably. And does he earn it? That's up to Michelin, not up to us.
So,
unfortunately.
Let me get to the other list, which I think is probably more approachable for people. 30 Montreal restaurants now as part of the 2026 edition of Canada's 100 Best, including Mont Lapin, which was, I think, number one last year. It's now fallen to number 2. Anything on this surprise you?
I'm always surprised not to see a restaurant like Le Club Chasse Pêche. These are really gastronomic restaurants that have been around for a long time. Again, you mentioned Milos. There are restaurants like that that'll always surprise me. But they come and go. So one year you'll see it's there, one year it won't be there. One thing that's kind of interesting is that there's another list coming up at the end of the May, which is North America's 50 Best. And if you look at the list, I like comparing the list because it must leave restaurant owners and chefs boggled because they say, why am I on this list and not that? The Canada's 100 Best, there's no Hogan and Beaufort. There's no Europea. There's no restaurants that have gotten, I think Mastard is on there though. But so you'd say, okay, why are they not on both lists if they're excellent? So that's a question people might be asking, and then we'll see. But I do notice there is more similarity between the world's 50, North America's 50 Best and the Canada's 100 Best than Michelin seems to be on another planet.
Can I just ask, because I noticed Beba is back on the list again, and it's been on the list for years. It's a small little restaurant. I hadn't eaten there in years. What makes it so special?
I think the owner, Ari, and his brother, they just have, it's a really personalized, it's personalized cuisine. It really is they're cooking what they love and what they like to do. I don't think they give a blank about lists, and they make it onto these lists. They do very well. But I just think they're doing what they want, and they have a lot of personality, and their food has a lot of personality. It's quite unique, and it is very small. But, the kind of judgy people or the critics or the judges for these lists, they love that kind of restaurant. It's small, it's chef-owned, it's ingredient-driven. These are all catchphrases that we love. We just bend over backwards for all this stuff.
So I'm going to run out of time. I was going to ask, and I would still ask, because I hope you don't mind. You listener people are hearing this and realize, well, I could never afford to eat at a place like that, et cetera, et cetera. If you had to pick one, and I'm going to pick the number 100 on the list, is a restaurant called Cassavant. Are you familiar with it?
I love Cassavant. That is a fantastic restaurant. Deserves to be higher up on the list. I would also call out to anybody who goes to Quebec City. There's a restaurant called Le Clan that got a Michelin star. Amazing chef there too. Cassavant, amazing. And all of these restaurants are really reliable. And I would say if you want to try a fun Michelin restaurant, it's very hard to get a table at Sabayon or those small restaurants, but try Hogan and Beaufort. It's fantastic.
There you go. Some good tips. Can I ask you for a favorite? Is that not allowed?
You could ask for a favorite.
Yeah. Which one? What's your favorite restaurant?
My favorite.
Yeah.
Gosh, that's hard. I'll tell you, my son works part-time at Moishes, and I like going to Moishes and harassing him.
Which would be a completely different reason to go to a restaurant.
It's all about just saying to my son, who's a waiter, saying, "Could I have an extra glass of water?" And the steak is not properly.
So bad.
I live for that, Aaron. But besides that, it's funny that you mentioned Cassavant. I have a real soft spot for Cassavant. I just recently went to Elena, which I thought was great. Gia, those are great restaurants. Bar Saint Denis. We are so spoiled in Montreal. I also love La Lune, which is the second restaurant of Mont Lapin. Barbecue chicken, I love it.
Hard to go wrong with barbecue chicken. We were there a while ago, and I was like, you know what? The place is full. The buzz is great. It's a beautiful spot. It's barbecue chicken. It doesn't need to be fancy, right? It just needs to be good, and it certainly is.
And I would say if anybody's bringing people from out of town and you want to show them a little taste of Montreal, I think Montreal Plaza is a crazy fun, excellent restaurant.
Don't know. Where's that?
Montreal Plaza is on Plaza Saint-Hubert.
Okay.
Not the sexiest place, but it is probably the sexiest restaurant.
Lesley Chesterman, writer, restaurant critic. You have a new cookbook out. Tell everybody what it's called.
Montreal Cook.
That's it. Lesley Chesterman, check it out.
There
How
you
many
go.
is this for you now in English anyway? 3, 4, 5, 10, 20? How many?
This is my third in English,
Okay.
including a restaurant guide that I wrote years ago, and it's my sixth in all.
Thank you. I have a copy. That's why I know this. And you signed mine. And thank you for saying to the man who eats bagged salad every day for lunch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I still can't get over
Thank
that,
you very
Aaron. Get
much.
rid of the bag salad.
Lesley
I'll show you how to
Chesterman.
clean salad one day.
Check
All right,
out the
take care.
book. Check her out. Thanks, Lesley.
Hello, Canada.
This is Bryan Adams Radio. Hosted by Bryan Adams
We'll
himself.
play a few of mine, a ton of my favorites, and some must-hear behind-the-scenes stories from the world of rock and roll. One thing about doing rock and roll so long is you end up meeting a lot of the people that you admire. Sometimes you even get to work with them.
Bryan Adams Radio. Now available on the free iHeartRadio app.
Everybody, how are you tonight? Sounds great.